Oh, hey again.
Hi.
Hi.
I can hear you.
We're back.
I hope they can hear us.
So, our friends that were joining us that caught the audio glitch, can you please sound off in the comments to
Yes.
let us know if we are back in business? We did a couple tests. I think we're good to go.
I think so.
We'll
The
just
test
call-
worked, we'll find out.
We'll just call it take 2.
But we're going to say, hey, it happens.
We're live, baby. That's what live is all about. Okay, so we're talking about wedding photography style, and we'll kind of pick back up where we left off. It's all about determining a style of photos that you love, that
Yes.
fits your day, and trying to also find a photographer that can really capture that. And on top of it, we just have a bunch of images that we want to show you to help get you some inspiration.
Yes. And also, a big thing is also being able to kind of communicate with your photographer, explain to them your style,
Yep.
and having a photographer that can blend styles to capture the day you're looking for.
Because you have many facets of your personality,
Absolutely.
and your pictures are going to want to reflect that. So the 3 main styles that we are talking about today are artistic, traditional, and photojournalistic.
Correct.
So if we have any friends that are watching, please give us a thumbs up. Give us the thumbs up emoji and let us know that we sound okay.
Show us a little love. We need it right now.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that you don't miss this. We actually have, a really good session planned today, and want to make sure you hear and see all the examples. So
Yes.
let's skim through some of the artistic images just to catch you up on kind of where we left off. And all of this is about intentional posing, but making the shot extra
Exactly.
special.
Being very intentional, picking the right backdrop, picking a spot that's going to work out great for you and it's going to work out great for your wedding day, but also trusting the photographer to create some unique scenery and facets to your day. We showed this a little bit ago, but just kind of talking on how we're intentionally throwing the dress and we're using different gels to create different colored backgrounds, very intentionally posing certain scenes and letting them unfold. This is where the artistic side is really going to shine. And it takes collaboration between you and your photographer.
I love this shot.
I do too.
Let's just gaze at it a little bit.
I remember when this shot came in, I was just like, oh man, look at that. It's like out of a romance novel. It's just beautiful.
And this is just the surroundings.
Yep.
This couple's natural surroundings in Holly, Michigan. I
Yep.
believe they got married
It
at the
is.
Holly Vault.
Yep, they were just down the street.
And this was really a photographer who said, you know what, it's raining, there's lights, let's snag an umbrella. She's got this, he's got the hat, and I feel like it does fall into the vision of a photographer as well.
100%.
You have to trust them.
Yep, and you have to be able to, and also that couple having the willingness to say, hey, we're going to get a few droplets on us, but let's make this happen.
Okay. And this, obviously, using your surroundings and just making it extra special.
Yep, creating art, putting yourself in it.
All right, Natalie, do we have any comments from anyone who's checking in? Okay, so I'm guessing we must sound
I think
okay.
we're okay, right? People are quick to tell us we're not, so I'm
Yes.
going to hope we're okay right now.
Okay, and I don't know, what do you think? Should we look through a couple more artistic
I think let's go
pictures?
through a couple and then we'll head over to
Okay.
traditional.
Cool.
So again, that off angle, that using the frame to really kind of frame the people. Having Detroit just juxtaposition in the background, I think is beautiful. It shows that you're on Belle Isle.
Everybody is going to want a handful of artistic images, or maybe you want your whole day to look like this, but it kind of boils down to finding that photographer who has the knowledge, who has the vision, that can read you
Yep.
and give you what you want. I mean,
And this has, look at this image, this has so much intention behind
Gosh.
it. They didn't just randomly step out there, the photographer
the
randomly
sky
around the
deck
corner.
and-
Right, exactly.
Right.
I don't even like being near the sky deck because people are on it and getting photographs with it, and to show that huge cloudscape behind them is amazing.
It's gorgeous. I mean, artistic is the word for any of these. I mean, how you can see the bride's reflection in that picture at
Exactly.
the door, the veil draped over
The
them.
photographer's actually under the veil in this shot.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
so that's
cool.
absolutely gorgeous.
It really is
It's
beautiful.
kind of a new spin on an old photo.
And so hopefully as we click through these images, I mean, you're just seeing inspiration, but it can be simple. You don't have to really over plan. It's just having that, as Chris has mentioned, intentional thought on using what's around you and just, I don't know, focusing
Running
on
with
that.
it, playing
Yeah.
with it, yeah. And accepting that, you know what, not every artistic shot's going to come out amazing, but if you try and you work with it, and you talk to your
Right.
photographer, and you mix visions, you're going to get a great shot.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I love artistic.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go over to traditional and look at what's kind of been, some would call it the bread and butter, some would call it the staples. I always make the joke to my client this is what your parents are gonna love.
Absolutely,
Right? This
but
is gonna go on the wall.
I have a family photo from my wedding of both sets of our parents in a frame because you want these shots. You need to have them. They
Absolutely.
may not be the wow images, but at the end of the day, you kind of need to have them as part of
You
your
are.
collection.
One thing that we'll say to clients is, I've had clients say to me, Chris, I don't want to do anything traditional. So I'll respond to them with, so do you mean you don't want any photos of all of you looking at the camera?
Right.
Direct? And they said, well, no, of course I do. Okay, then you do want some traditional.
So as we're looking through those, that's kind of what makes things traditional.
Traditional in the sense that is a very intentional, formal style. Traditional is going to always be a little more formal in its aspect. Looking directly at camera, making that connection. Again, posed, very uniformed, in a simple line. Not a lot of creativity as far as moving people back and forth like you saw in some of those other images. Bride come down the aisle, directly head on, very traditional shot.
right.
Whereas an artistic version of that might have been like an off angle or off to the
Sure,
side.
sure.
Same thing here. A lot of your wedding party, you're going to want to have some of those traditional shots along with some artistic shots most times.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, very traditional.
Up
The
at the
format
altar.
you see here is very linear, very up and down, very straight laced, and there's not a lot of movement in the shot, right? Now this is kind of half and half.
Yep. You're capturing your background, but
Yep.
it still is kind of like that traditional bride and groom shot.
Exactly.
And that's good to have as a part of your gallery. You're going to want those images.
Yep, beautiful big wide church shot, centered. Again, very traditional shot when you have two photographers and this option to do that.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, you're gonna see that a lot with I'm assuming your ceremony and not your pre-ceremony, but your ceremony and your bridal party shots.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, and your family formals, exactly. And then let's look over at photojournalistic for a few minutes here.
Yeah,
So
these are fun.
I love. These are the photos that clients will call us afterwards and say, "Oh man, I didn't even realize they captured this. I love it."
They tell such a story. I mean, and look at this moment with the bride and her bridal party. Just that tender moment, that
Very
prayer
soft,
before the
prayer
ceremony.
beforehand,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That clearly the photographer wasn't saying much. They were just capturing these moments as it happened.
Right.
They're literally running right now. Okay, I mean, there's literally a lot going
These are
on.
action shots.
These are action shots. These are those in the moment shots capturing what's happening in the day. Okay, she's being pampered. All of her girls are around her, helping with the veil, getting the buttons done, getting everything done up on the dress, and no one's looking at camera, and that's okay.
No.
This is beautiful because it's an in the moment shot.
Yep. I love this
Isn't that great?
picture. I mean,
Isn't that
this
great?
is just what you want. That maid of honor who's giving that speech, this is what she wants
Totally,
from that speech.
totally.
You know?
And you can, your mind can wander into 9 different places of what's being said right now.
Right. It's,
But I even love the folded up paper and that the speech is written on.
yeah, it's. I love it, and it's not something that you would think, oh, I want to put this in a frame, but I would. I think this just tells the story of that moment through a photo, which
Right,
is
I
so
agree.
rare.
And frame or not, that's going in an album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, end of the night, in the motion. They're about to do their grand exit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they got the sparklers going. These are those in the moment shots.
No one's looking, no
Right.
one cares, you don't even know that they're snapping your picture.
Exactly.
And that's where a lot of couples, they feel like, and Natalie, you can kind of keep clicking through these, you know, oh, I'm so worried about being in front of a camera all day. Half the time, you're not even gonna
Exactly.
notice it.
Exactly. Half the time, you're not even realizing what's actually being captured until afterwards. And I do think that's a sign of a great photographer is when we're able to capture
Love
those
this.
in the moments that you didn't realize, but you're going to remember later.
Yeah. You just get the emotion, and especially like when you, I mean, this is such a cool shot with their packed dance floor. Here they are
Absolutely.
making their entrance and drinking mimosas. I could use one.
I could use one too. Yeah, maybe we should
And-
switch up our lunch plans.
But I don't know. I love. So I think as we've kind of looked through all of these pictures, I mean, here's a question for you, Chris. You don't want every photo in your arsenal to be photojournalistic. You don't want every photo to be set up with some incredible background. You don't want every photo to be a posed traditional shot. So do you have to select one style? Do you have to declare that?
So that's a great clarifying question. I think it's best if you're able to identify what you want for what part of your day.
Okay.
Okay.
So an example.
I think in it, so I have had clients that'll tell me, anything involving my parents, I want very traditional.
Okay.
Anything involving just the two of us, I want very artistic. And then I asked for a second photographer, I hired a second photographer. I would love them to focus on those photojournalistic shots.
Sure.
And I think that's a really great communication piece from a client back to us,
Okay.
because they're identifying what they want in what part of their day.
Yeah, and that's really
It's
important.
really important to be able to just to converse and have those terms with your photographer, because when they know more of what you're looking for, they're able to capture it better. We get clients all the time that will say, I want a more traditional wedding. We're kind of old school, we want this look, we're very happy with it. And then I get the opposite. I get some that say, the only traditional shots I want are family formals. Because I know my grandparents will want them, my parents will want them, but everything else I want very artistic, I want very off the cuff, and I want very intentionally random.
Got it.
So that's a big part.
How do you find a photographer? Like, how do you just know? And this might have actually been something that we covered in a previous Facebook Live, but how do you know that you found the right photographer who is going to capture that vision that you...
So there's a couple parts. Looking through their portfolio, you'll be able to see where they're putting their value.
Okay.
When you look at their portfolio and you see it's all photojournalistic, it's all very off angle and everything else, that might not be the person you want if you want that traditional and more artistic, intentionally posed stuff.
Got it.
And I think it's communication. If you're talking with someone that is representing that photographer, to ask those questions. Is this person more traditional? Are they more artistic? Are they more photojournalistic? The portfolio should show you a lot of that,
Yeah.
because you'll see what images were chose to represent that person, or what images they picked to represent their brand, and that'll help a lot. But the other parts of it are when you start talking with them, I'm a firm believer that any professional photographer can adjust to the style you're looking for, and capture what you're looking for your day.
Awesome. And in the post, for those of you joining us, now that our audio is good and we're rocking and rolling, we've got a link in there for the top 20 questions to ask your photographer before you hire them, and a lot of it does focus on, you know, getting those details about your vision.
Absolutely.
And we also have an article in there about your photography style with more examples, because I think a lot of it is, before you hire a photographer, you yourself, the couple, the bride, want to do research so you know what those styles mean.
Big part of it.
So yeah, hopefully these images that we showed you today served as some inspiration, maybe clarified the different styles that there are to choose from, and maybe something sparked and said,
I hope so.
I love that picture. That's how I want my wedding to look. So that's what we're trying to do here, is help you out.
Yep.
Let me see here. What other questions do we have? I guess, how do you know which photography style is right for you?
So I think that's where it comes to researching.
Yeah.
That's where Pinterest can be it's a rabbit hole. It's easy to climb
Sure.
down it and get stuck in it and crawl around a little bit in Pinterest, but I think really taking the time to figure out what you want. The one thing any photographer doesn't want to hear is, I'm not really sure what I want.
Right.
Because
I bet you though, there's a lot of people
there's a
out there
lot.
that don't know. They just
No.
want pictures. They just want wedding
Yep.
pictures.
And the one thing I always say to them, okay, listen, that's awesome, but as a professional, I want to hit the mark. I want to hit the bullseye. I want to be able to hit their bullseye and capture what they want. So normally when someone says, I don't know, it's just they haven't really educated themselves on different styles and
Got
different
it.
looks. Because as soon as I start showing them examples, they quickly have an opinion on it.
They know what they like.
Exactly.
and
They're
they
going to
what
know
they
what
don't
you like, you know you don't like. Exactly. So
Okay.
once you go into that, it's easy to really kind of pick that apart.
All right, cool. Well, and check out our Instagram feed. We've also linked our Instagram feed in the post as well. So you can kind of scroll through. We post all of our latest work and some really special images and shots with all varieties of styles. So thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for joining us, even though we sounded like robots for a little bit earlier.
We apologize for the tech. We got it fixed. We're moving forward. Everything will be great. Again, guys, drop stuff in the comments. Any questions you have, anything you want to see, if you want us to clarify anything we went over, just let us know. We'll tag in and help you out.
Yeah, and make sure, do that research. Look at the different styles. Check out our blog post. We're here to help educate you and just help make sure you get the images that you love no matter what style they are. So thanks for hanging out with us this Wednesday. We will post something up on Instagram later so you can vote and decide which topic you want us to discuss next week. I'm still
Absolutely.
pushing for wedding albums. It keeps kind of getting thrown to the curb, but we'll get there.
Maybe we'll put it in there and just let them see how gorgeous they are.
Exactly. Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks
Take
for
care, guys.
checking
Have a
us
great
out.
short work week.